supposedly my speedy trial rights for Virginia Beach start at my indictment, which means that whole year of continuances and all that bullshit, it's as if none of that even existed. Now, I did a little bit of
that seems like some kind of abusive loophole.
It is, but it is. But I've done a lot of case law research, and it pretty much 100% of the time, holds up to the favor of the prosecution. They're allowed to non-process the charges and then just re-indict. It's the same. They're different charges, I guess you would say, but with a different article. Instead of a warrant, it's an indictment. It's as if the original charges never existed. So yeah, it's a loophole. It's like a little trick that they use, and there's a lot of case law research that I've read on the law library, and 100% of the time when somebody tries to argue that, it never is in the favor of the defense.
This is what they did to Fist Pump. This went on for 2 or 3 years. I mean, the prosecution wouldn't even give him the discovery packet for 3 years. It's awful.
So what I'm kind of worried about is Norfolk kind of stalling out. Because it'd be better to get indicted immediately, I would say, on the Norfolk charges, just to get the speedy trial, limitations started. Virginia Beach had non-process without designating if they had the intent of prosecuting or not. But Norfolk did non-process with the intent to, at least they, said that they had the intention of indicting, right? But Virginia Beach didn't do that. They just non-processed. I feel like, I don't know, maybe Mary could help with this kind of research, but I feel like Virginia Beach at least should have stated whether they had intention to re-indict or not, because I didn't get a chance to even, decide if I wanted to object to that or not. So there's basically non-process with prejudice, and which would mean like a full dismissal, and then there's non-process without prejudice, which is not a full dismissal. They leave it open for up to a year. But because Virginia Beach didn't, their reasonable cause for the non-process motion was that they couldn't get the witness to the courtroom. That's going to hold up. There's nothing to argue there. I wish there was, but I'm fairly certain Mary will probably agree with that. I did hours and hours and hours of research today. I think just for the fact that she didn't come to court, that's enough cause for any appeals court in the future to hold up that non-process decision. But what I'm wondering is maybe the non-process being distinguished like with the intent to indict versus that not being said. I don't know if maybe there's some sort of case to appeal in the future on that for Virginia Beach. Also, another thing I wanted to say is I talked to another guy. He's got a malicious wounding case. He's got 2 of them. He's got a malicious wounding in Norfolk and a malicious wounding in Chesapeake. His girl basically came to court in Norfolk and told the judge, she went to the preliminary hearing, and she basically said that she had hit him first, and it was mutual combat. So his shit got non-processed, and he hasn't been indicted. But I asked him to talk to his girl about the fund, and his girl is getting housing vouchers, food, clothes, just the way Olga and Mary described it. We'll say MCM, all right? MCM, and some of you, the way you describe it is pretty accurate. the girls basically work with the prosecutor's office, whether that's a victim's advocate or something, or the prosecutor directly, but they get the funding and the approval from the prosecutor's office. I don't even know if it's like, I don't think it's like a separate community fund or anything, or a community services fund. I think it's directly from the prosecutor's office, which is kind of scary, but that would explain her still being in contact with, her knowing about the indictment and stuff like that.
And it would explain why all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's stuck to this one story. And then all of a sudden, she's adding to the story. Well, now I know that they're stealing from me. And I know this. And she's like adding stuff to the story to make it look like she put up a bunch of videos today and a bunch of posts of it's like she's adding to the story to make it look worse. She's going to work with them as long as she's getting that funding. I mean, it's up to $35,000 you can get. If they said, well, we're going to cut that off, and all of a sudden she's working with them, listening to them, and adding stuff to the story that has come out of nowhere, witness intimidation, harassment, targeting, all this is new stuff that she's come up with.
Right, and the only reason I haven't been charged with that already is because it's not true. I haven't talked to her in fucking months now.
Yeah, she even said, I fear and I am afraid to testify against him because of what's going on. And we literally have said over and over again, every phone call is recorded. There's no way that anything.
Okay, I mean, that actually, think about it. Maybe she's saying that. Maybe she's even telling the prosecutors that to continue to lead them on and get the funds, because there's no reason for her to be afraid. I'm in jail, and it doesn't look like I'm going to see the light of day for a very, very long time. Very long time. And there's, what reason does she have to be afraid? She's on the other side of the fucking United States.
Well, she's claiming that the community is going after her, and this coordinated thing. Yesterday, she came on live. Maybe Booberly can explain this better with this picture of this woman. You want to explain that, Booberly?
Oh yeah. She said she got a text from a Virginia phone number. And she said it's for a GoFundMe that she's not part of, but it has a picture of her and an elderly woman. And she said she met that woman when she went to your bond hearing.
When she went to my bond hearing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
She
she's
said
saying
her
that
husband was in jail with Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The husband was in jail with you, and you and this husband have this scam going for a GoFundMe, and that you are harassing her from jail. And she showed the picture. Like, it's nuts. I don't know if trolls are doing this to her, Charles.
I mean, it's good if she's saying all this to the prosecution, because it's not true. I promise. I have not talked to her since before Labor Day.
No, clearly, and all of our calls are recorded, so it's just spewing lies and bullshit.
She's just saying it's orchestrated, though, from your cellmate or somebody you met in jail. It's being orchestrated that way.
I mean, do you think she's just making content?
No.
Push her narrative?
I think someone's trolling her.
yeah.
Well, I think that she probably ultimately will fall back on that this is all just scripted, and that way she has an excuse for any lies she tells that she might get caught. That's what ultimately she's probably going to say when the dust settles. But you know how she is, she gets convinced of things, or she just believes her own lies. Basically, she just doubles down, triples down. And so even if she knows this is a lie, it benefits her to play a victim.
Back on to Olga.
What? I'm sorry, Kayla?
Yeah. Okay. Bye. We ran out of time, Newly. Olga, he's going to call you next.
Okay.
Hey, do you want to tell him real quick what you said about the messages, how they cost so much, so that he remembers that or something?
Yeah, I'll be. Oh,
Let me
I'll
grab
be
my-
back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Okay.
Okay.
I'll grab my purse. I don't know if I put money on it. I think I did. If not, I'm gonna. Okay.
Oh, I thought you did have it. If you don't, ooh, well, don't answer it if he call. Okay, I don't know. I screwed up because he was going to call you before. He was going to call you first.
Hello.
Hello. This is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Norfolk Jail. To accept this call, press 0. Your current balance is $9.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. I'll be right back.
This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Yeah, I mean, if she's telling the prosecution all this, and it's, you know, obviously not true, I don't know, maybe that would be good. But that just doesn't make sense that she's afraid to testify, you know?
No, and like we said, people are going to fact check everything you say. Everything you say can be fact checked. Like, do you not realize that whoever it is you're talking to, whether it's trolls, the court, whatever, it's going to be fact checked. They're going to listen to these calls. Everything's going to be listened to.
That's what I'm saying. It would kind of make her look less reliable, you know, if she's telling them that. Not that I don't think that would change their view on trying to get a conviction. But is she saying this like, does she seem like she's, because it's just hard to tell now with the indictment what they're trying to do, you know? I think they're just trying to buy more time. It's like, am I just looking at a situation where I just need to go to trial and pray she doesn't come? You know? Or if I go to trial, is she adamant on coming? Why did she come to if the ticket is paid for, you know, why did she come to the preliminary hearing?
Because she keeps saying that she's not going after you. It's the state that's going after you. She wants nothing to do with it. But she also keeps saying, he wants me dead. These people want me dead. And we're like, what people? What people want you dead? It's absurd.
I mean, she could be saying that to make it like, you know, in the hopeful event that she never does testify against me and you get on the stand and fucking lie about me and shit.
Yeah.
Like, at least publicly, it'll give her like the benefit of the doubt forever. Like, oh, well, she didn't go and test.
Well, Charles,
I think that's what it is.
By him from jail, you know.
I think
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Charles, she's saying that you are still harassing her to this day, is what she had said. And she also said that she re-explained her calling you in jail. She said that she was just like, you know, saying those things to you so you would leave her alone. Like when she had said that she loved you and stuff like that. She said on a stream, she said that so that you would leave her alone.
She said it to the DA because the DA asked her, allegedly.
Right. That's allegedly.
Said what to the DA?
That
said-
she's.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, she said that she had said that she had loved you and stuff because so that you would leave her alone. That's why she talked to you.
Meaning she's.
I mean, she talked to me we talked on a few occasions. It was like 3 or 4 different occasions, but that doesn't really make sense. You would think by telling me, you would think by saying I love you, that would, you know, that would want me to, that would make me want to stay in contact with you. You know what I mean?
Right, but
Like, no, I don't love you anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Especially when you're locked up.
How do people even know? How does the general internet even know that we talked? Like, was she defending herself against a comment or something?
No, she basically was explaining she was kind of like explaining her reasoning of why she had talked and she I don't know. I think she had talked to the DA and she went went through why she did talk to you. It's a change of story for sure, and she's coming off like
maybe the DA heard the phone calls and questioned her about it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that's
Yep.
definitely possible.
Well, that would be interesting. I mean, but the thing is I called her. I think I only talked to her like one time from my actual account. I got the paper right here. Yeah, like I had talked to her on different people's accounts. I have the date and times and the number that I called her from, so hopefully I can get that shit. But it seems unlikely they would find, this guy Lee and Nicholas's fucking phone call. I don't know. That seems unlikely.
Well, whatever she's doing, she's changing the story. She's adding to the story. The whole fleeing from, Virginia, somebody going in and writing in her journal. She was so afraid. She's afraid to testify against you. You're orchestrating all this stuff. And she keeps saying that you have a cult and you have minions. And
I know she said that to me on the phone too.
It's
you have a cult. It's not normal.
It's preventing her from getting a job, preventing her from having peace. They just want me dead. So did every single one of us go live? I think there was like 8 of us. Even Aaron, Appalachian Aaron, went on there. We were like, we all were very polite, very professional. We all just said, we are simply, we're not the trolls. We're not the bad guys. There is no cult. We hope you're not including us in whatever it is that you keep saying. We're all, professional women, God-fearing women. Nobody's out to get you or doing anything to harm you. But at the same time, people are going to fact check you when you lie about us, when you lie about anything, all these lies that are coming out, people are going to fact check you. And we want you to leave us alone. We asked her, leave us alone, as far as insinuating that we're doing something. And so, yeah, we did a live.
And we have receipts for a lot of what she's saying to back up that she's lying.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So that was like part of the stream yesterday, too, was just to say, hey, you said trolls are doxing you. No, you dox yourself. So.
Right. But Dooley, you think that at the end of the day she'll fall back on, this is just kind of scripted, or I was just making content if she gets called out like too harshly?
Yeah, she'll do any number of things like, what was I supposed to do? I was in fear of my life. Oh, this is it just depends on what happens. If you get out, she'll say one thing. If you stay in, she'll say another. Like if you do get convicted, ultimately, she doesn't want to be the villain because she knows that these are completely trumped up, charges with her histrionics and abuse of the legal system. So she's going to say, hey, I was convinced by a friend that what he did was this, quote unquote beep. And that's why I called. And yeah, she said several times. What she said is that she was telling.
That's clipped.
Well, she also
it is.
It's clipped.
When she called me, I have the recording of her saying I was coerced by several people in the community that I was talking to 7 hours a day to do these charges.
Yeah, she said that she said
on the internet, I just told him what I told him so he would leave me alone, but then why did she tell you that? Why did she say it on YouTube,
She said it more than once publicly.
Yeah, she's claiming.
Yeah, she said a friend had to tell her.
Yeah,
a friend told her, "Don't you know?"
Because she told you no, and that's supposedly. Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple different stories about that night that she's said just to a couple. It was Retro's mother. She did say something about Vegan Patriot. She threw her under the bus and said that Vegan Patriot put up a GoFundMe without her permission.
Oh, and Vegan Patriot's behind it too. She said that last night or yesterday, that Vegan Patriot is behind all this too.
Yes, and to me, I almost think it's like she's trying to appear to be insane, Charles. This long post today, Charles is married. That is his child. All that stuff was paid for. All her computer equipment was paid for by my money that Charles stole. It's like she's trying to appear to be mentally ill, and she's not. Nobody.
Yeah, that's what Boober said. Boober was like, she's either appearing to be mentally ill or she is. I don't know which one it is.
No, I think she knows exactly what she's doing.
She's not mentally ill, you guys. Mental illness is where somebody has no control over themselves, doesn't understand right from wrong, is disoriented to reality. I mean, there's a lot of does she have a personality disorder? Absolutely. Is she criminally minded? Absolutely. She knows how to paint a narrative to cover her tracks and always has an excuse to play a victim of why she does the things she does when she goes into the gray area. That's somebody that's fully actually beyond aware of their actions, because exactly, like, she is nothing but a con artist, and she knows she's a pathological, habitual, chronic liar. She does not know how to tell the truth. She does know what the truth is, but she wants to paint everything always whenever things don't go the way she wants. So she lashed out at you vindictively. I mean, when I rewatched the clip of the battery pack incident, dude, it was like she had been waiting for something to happen on camera. Finally, I mean, she sprang into immediately saying that she was injured where she wasn't even injured, that she was gonna, like, she could, so it's like she's like, that's somebody that's criminally minded and manipulative, that's always looking for leverage, always looking for ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to a sane.
Let's not lose those files. Here's a question I want to ask Newly specifically, because Newly, we were just talking about in the event that, down the line, I'm actually convicted of some of this shit, God forbid. From watching what she's saying and stuff, if somebody was serious about the court and testifying and having a solid case against me, and her actions don't really seem to be lining up with that. Am I wrong, or
no? That's pretty much what I was saying. I said that completely all last night on the live stream, that she does not, what she says and what she does do not align. And so I don't think in the legal case either, if she were to get up on a stand or even just sit to be interviewed for her, that she's not a credible person at all. Like, I mean, that just goes without saying. Anyone that spends 5 minutes with her, I mean, ultimately what I want to just say real quick, hold on a second.
And if she got on the stand, Charles, you have so many people that have dealt with her that are credible. You've got Kale. You've got me. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing my Olga ridiculous, persona on the internet. You have credible people that have credible, provable evidence that will sit right there. And I mean, that's why. Do
we think that the real possibility from what she's saying, like, is this a situation where I just need to sit and wait for the trial date?
Well, Mary's gonna look up.
Well, with the way.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, with the way it's going, and I mean, I'm kind of shocked that it even got this far in the first place. I honestly would be like, if I were in your position, I would go into any amount of debt to get an actual attorney that's halfway competent.
Call back, Charles. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's got you guys. They're never going to put her on the stand. They're never going to use a shred of anyone's evidence. He's not. I
Agreed.
mean, we have to be realistic here. If he has to go $100,000 in debt, big fucking deal. Like that's what
Yep.
mortgages like used to cost. He can pay that shit when
He's
he
got to
gets
save his
off.
life. Yep.
Yeah, like I mean, this is all fine and dandy, but we're living a pipe dream if we think that we're going to somehow help him beat these charges with her clips of her live streams that she can just say that was entertainment, like that was just scripted content, scripted reality. Like, I mean, she's going to have a defense for everything, and as we've heard repeatedly, the state is moving forward with or without her. And I mean, like, yeah, this is real life. Like
It's time to lawyer up for sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he's been through this now where he just got yanked back like he did and not see the reality of that. Like there's no amount of like an internet group unless we have some real pull like with public relations and fundraising. Like that's what it takes with the American legal system. It takes the almighty dollar. Like he's going to have to mount his own defense. Him having these court appointed attorneys has done zero. In fact, it set him back. Like he said, he's lost almost a year of his life now, in and out, in and out. And
it's sad because you can tell he is panicking a little by, he's really wanting like your validation too. You know what I mean? Like that's what's sad.
And he knows
he tries to be strong, but he's
he knows it himself. He just wants to hear someone say it for him. He knows that she's not. Yeah.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Norfolk jail. To accept this call, press 0. Your current balance is $5.76.
I'll reload it tonight.
This call is from a
I'll take the next one if he wants to call back.
monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, so what we were talking about, Charles, is Mary is looking into some stuff about seeing if she can find an attorney that will at least file some motions for you until you get an attorney. All I know is, but before we figure out the attorney stuff, whoever you get has got to be told to call me, call Kel. Your attorney, Constance, failed. I don't think she looked at anything that I sent, and it was detailed, perfect, links. We really made a timeline. It was pristine. I think she just thought, oh, this girl isn't going to come up. It's going to be clean and dandy, and we're going to get it. She failed.
She never even, like, to my knowledge, attempted to file a motion to dismiss or object to she had no objection to the non-process with the intention to indict, and after the judge hit the hammer, the judge was like, I will grant the non-process, and hit the hammer. She just looked at me and put her arm on my shoulder and was like, good luck to you. And that was it. That's all she said.
And you didn't even get your discovery packet. You didn't get to see. Same thing with fist pumps. Waited 3 years to get his evidence. They just it's insane. Whoever we finally get to represent you, whether it's a public defender or whatever, needs to know from Kale and I and whoever else what the real story is, her past, her lies, the situation, and not just have these video clips that she's showing them saying this is what happened. They need to know she spoke to me on the phone and gave a story about all kinds of stuff, and that she's changing the stories. Somebody must speak to these people right off the bat so they will fight for you and be able to go to the DA and say, well, we have this, we have these witnesses, etc. So
yeah, I mean, like before I even attempt to beg my father to go further into debt, possibly for an attorney, I'd like to really try to establish what we think long term about, 6 months from now, a year from now, is this girl going to show up at a trial?
No.
Why didn't she go to the prelims?
She's not going to show up, and if she did, she would be destroyed by an attorney. And having
possibly, but it comes down to her story of the complaining statement, and unless the jury found her story to be, I think it's incoherent and incredible, which is it's very hard to, as far as like this case law I've been looking at. Almost always when a rape case is appealed on the grounds that, the woman's story was incoherent and incredible, almost every single time the appeal is shot down and they favor on the side of the complaining witness. Doesn't matter if her initial complaint was inconsistent with the testimony, none of that usually matters. That's what's the scary part about it, They don't need any corroborating evidence. They don't need any corroborating witnesses. But before I even think about, because my dad said that, my dad's scared to death for me. I can tell. Like, I really regret what I've done with my life. But, my dad was like, I wish I could get you an attorney, blah, blah, blah. I just kind of, I didn't go into that right now. But before I even think about that, it's like, I would say we just need to really try to determine what we think about, is she going to show up to a trial? Like, the ticket was paid for. She had a free plane ticket and a hotel voucher to stay out here. They took care of all the travel. Why didn't she come?
Yeah, but Charles, I want to ask a couple of things real quick. Like, does your dad believe in your innocence? Does he believe that she has? Okay, and then second, do you think it really matters one way or the other whether she cooperates?
Yes, I do. I think if she were to, I think if she shows up to a trial, I have like virtually no chance. Just from what I'm reading in the case law. I mean, there's wives are sending their husbands up for 30 years for shit like this.
Okay, and then I guess the follow-up to that is, are you prepared to spend X amount of years in jail over this versus perhaps going into some kind of debt so that you can get like competent counsel and have a chance at getting out of there?
What do you mean personally going to? I mean, I personally couldn't go. I mean, I couldn't go into debt, but I mean, it would. I don't know. I think my father's still kind of wrapping his mind around how serious this shit is. And again, am I prepared to? I don't know. I mean, at this point, Newly, like, I think my best option is to try to somehow finagle getting an attorney, or maybe my next court-appointed attorney.
That's
decent.
Well, that's what I was saying between your call.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was saying between your call, like you need an actual attorney, whether it's going to cost you $100,000 that you have to pay when you get out, because like to end up getting convicted for the
option, I would certainly do that. I would personally go into debt, yeah, but I don't know if that's an option or not.
I think it would be really important to see what happens when they do give you an attorney, to see how proactive they're going to be. If they sit there week after week after week, they haven't called us important witnesses, people that she's literally spoke to, and have recordings of her saying this happened, and bullshit lies, then it's doesn't seem like somebody that I would want representing me. But if they turn around and start making calls and listening and, looking at evidence, then maybe they will fight for you. I mean, this one, the other woman was family attorney. This is going to be a criminal attorney. So, so maybe we should see what happens when you get your first attorney. I mean, you weren't even allowed to.
I actually have an attorney. I'd like to see if you guys could research reviews on. I don't know if somebody can write this down real quick.
Okay, y'all write this down.
So his name is Bruce C. Sam. Now, he's a court-appointed attorney for a couple of guys that I went down to court with. They were just going down to get attorneys, and they were appointed this guy Bruce C. Sam, S-A-M-S, and this guy is actually a part-time fill-in judge, but the deputy was telling these two other guys that this attorney is very good. These guys are here for like strangulation and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if you guys can do some research on him and see if there's any like reviews or bad or good reviews on him, and maybe that's somewhere I could start. Maybe getting my dad to inquire, to call in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like Tucker Carlson.
No, he's a black dude.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong person. Okay.
Yeah, Bruce C. Sams.
Okay.
Let me give you the phone number too, because maybe the phone number will match up in the Google result.
Okay.
It's 757-627-3999.
Did y'all get that, girls? Did anybody get it?
No.
757 627 3999.
3999, yes.
Okay, and 627.
I put it in the Discord.
God, I almost feel like I want to go ahead and call him and say, I know you can't talk to me until you get permission, but I just want to summarize something, like a little summary or something. I almost got to the point where I thought, God, do I need to contact the DA and say, look, hey, well, I wouldn't do that unless your attorney said so, but I just wish they knew who they were dealing with. She's so convincible. And I mean, the way she is so convincible, Charles. It's just evil.
What do you mean convincible? You said convincible?
Like she's convincing. When she got on yesterday and lied about the facility, where I literally have proof that she's sitting there lying, she is a good liar.
Right. No, for sure. But it's like things like that are never going to come up in my court case. That's what we need to kind of understand. Like, we can't use well, she lied about his dad and the bed bugs at the facility, therefore she's lying about the whatever kind of incidents they've had between the two of them. It's not going to work like that in court, I don't believe. Like, the evidence that would work is like if it pertains to her complaint. Like if there's clips or audio messages or texts of her saying, I was coerced by somebody else, I was convinced by somebody else that this is the way things happen, and I was, like on the phone with me, she was like, I was mentally ill and I filed the charges, that kind of stuff, I think would be able to get admitted into court.
See, now if she said that could explain why she's acting more mentally ill. More mentally ill stories, more mentally ill. She knows you're not married, and she knows that baby isn't yours. She's like setting something up. She's mentally ill. So she can, because she knows that her story isn't really plausible or even convincing. Nobody. She has like 4 or 5 people that support her. Oh fuck! He hung up. Are y'all there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here.
Shit.
Here.
I'm here. I'm searching right now.
You hung up. I got money on my phone, so
Shit.
it's okay.
Let me see if I can add real quick.
It takes a while to get it approved.
I wonder if he was recommended this lawyer because he's possibly cheap, but he's supposed to be a judge as well.
Hello.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Norfolk jail. Your current balance is $2.79.
Go for broke.
It's from a corrections facility and is subject to
Right.
monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
They didn't give me a 1-minute notice, but
Okay, so if it hangs up this time, you call Kel back because I have to load up my I'm gonna load it up big.
I really do appreciate you all loading it up and talking to me about this. I'm gonna think my way out of this. So, like Newly said, right? I mean, there's a place to start with this attorney here, Bruce G. Sands. He's a black guy. His picture, he's got like a really nice jacket on. Looks like, I don't know. He looks like a criminal defense attorney, but I heard nothing but good things about him. And you know, he was talking to some of the other guys like, you know, we're gonna get you a bond here and get you out of here next week. You know what I mean? Sometimes when attorneys aren't really worth their salt, they're like, well, we'll just see what happens. You know, and that seems to be kind of what my attorneys were saying. It's just, all right, well, we'll go in there and see what happens. You know, they had no plan. They had no intention of making any objections to the Commonwealth. You know, it's like it's almost as if they're working, these public defenders and court-appointed attorneys are kind of working with the prosecution. That's kind of how I feel, to be honest with you.
Charles, knowing the court, Mary knows the court system. I've had 2 big cases in a court system. My father, just real quick, my father, who is a prominent businessman in Ocala, knew the judges, knew the prosecutors, the defenders. They're all buddies. They all go out for drinks. Some of them hate each other, but they all sit around and go for drinks, and they all know each other. So
and I almost feel they're like, well, I'll give you this guy. He's paying me, so can you let's give this guy, you know, this amount of time because I'm getting paid for this case. And these 2 other cases that were appointed to me, let's give these guys 10 years. I almost feel like that's how they're doing it.
yes, they do that constantly. Yes.
All right. So, also like looking into, you know, is that an option where I can go into personal debt even though I'm in jail? I've never heard of that, but you know, I'm telling you, Marissa and I fucked up my dad's finances bad. You know, I'm trying to get to a point where I'm going to have some conversations with him like that. But like if that's the route I'm going to go down, I want to do it soon because if I get 6 months into this and then I feel like, oh, my court-appointed attorney is not representing me, it's going to push my trial date out another 6 months. And if I'm not out on bond, you know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that this needs to be taken like way more serious than it already has been. You've lost months of your life and you should not be sitting there just based on the current climate with the rest of the legal system and how people that have done far worse and been charged with far worse, even right there in Virginia, are out free, pending, you know. And I mean, I know that there's somewhat extenuating circumstances with follow-up 911 calls and new accusations. But yeah, if you're really facing 10, 15, 20 years at some point, like, I mean, I feel like your poor dad and the
can carry a life sentence. You know, I mean,
wow.
Probably more for people that jump out of the bushes with a knife. You know what I mean? But you know, I've seen cases where a wife, sends her husband up for fucking 20 years, and then at the sentencing hearing, the attorney for the defense tries to ask the wife, were you expecting this heavy of a sentence or whatever, and the Commonwealth objects, and that line of questioning doesn't even get to be heard by the trial or by the jury or the judge. And there's no consistency. I've seen cases where a dude rapes a 10-year-old 3 times and gets 6 years, and I've seen cases where a date rape gets 25 years. There's no consistency at all.
It's crazy. I think we need to research this guy, which we will do. I'd like to see if Mary finds somebody that can just file some motions for you in the meantime, because this guy may not even contact you for a week, 2, 3 weeks. I mean, you only got 20 minutes with your last attorney. You didn't even get a phone call. It was bullshit. So she is talking about something to do with motions. I don't understand what she meant, so she'll have to be on the next call. But we'll see.
Yeah, and there's also time limits to some of this stuff. If I want to, let's say, appeal the non-process decision for Virginia Beach because they didn't state exactly that they were going to re-indict, if that's an option, there might be a time limit on that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so another thing I'm wondering is, just in your all's opinion, is it worth it for me to look at some of these educational courses and try to start thinking about filing my own motions and writing my own legal, case research?
Yes.
Stuff? I think that's a complete
Yes.
waste of my time.
No.
It wouldn't
Absolutely.
hurt to do that.
There's been cases, I mean, Kale probably knows too. I don't know how many cases of innocence that her line of work follows, but there's been guys that have been in jail 15, 20 years convicted that ended up getting themselves out because they were failed by the legal system and their legal counsel, and through that very thing. And so, yeah, the sooner you start, the better, because it's going to help you, Charles, with every second you have with an attorney to advocate better for yourself. And I wanted to ask that, are you advocating? You said that guy has told other people, hey, I'll have you out of here in a week, or I'm going to do XYZ. You need to tell them what you need and what you want. I hope you're able to do that with them.
Well, but with these court-appointed attorneys, they don't come and see you. My even before court, I didn't see her. They just took me into court. She whispered to me. She was like, "They're going to non-process." And I was like, "Okay." And then the Commonwealth stood up and said, "We're having logistics issues getting her here, so we're going to non-process with the intention to indict." And then the judge just goes, "Okay, I will grant the non-process." Bang! And then the bailiff picks me up and takes me out. There's no time to talk to the attorney.
Yeah, that's unacceptable and horrible. Wow.
I think he's going to get bond.
And then Richard Clark, he at least came and talked to me, but he's always just kind of over talking. When I'm asking a question, and he doesn't let me formulate my question real. Church. I'm trying to. I have to take a pause and think about exactly what I'm trying to ask him sometimes. And he was just basically like, "Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens." And then he was, they keep telling me "Oh, it doesn't seem like she cares about this. She probably won't come." Well, my attorney, Constance Vandervelde, when she said she probably won't come, well, she never said that. Yeah, maybe she doesn't come, but it's still possible they could not process with the intention to fucking indict. If she had said that, I would have asked her, "Well, is it possible to, object to that that motion for non-process and appeal to the judge for a dismissal on the grounds that she hasn't showed up to 2 preliminary hearings?" I don't even know if that's an option. And I'm sort of wondering now if maybe that's not an option at all. Maybe this is just the way the procedure is they non-process at the prelims in the lower courts if the victim doesn't show up, and then they indict, and the only way you can get a dismissal by the judge, or a dismissal, I think it's dismissal with prejudice, is in the higher courts when it goes to trial. Maybe that's just but I don't know because I don't have a chance to ask my attorneys any of this.
Well, I want Mary to fully look into this guy. I'm not, you know how some people will be pissed off and leave a bad review or something? You can't really always look at reviews and go by that. He doesn't seem to have a personal website. It could be a couple.
It's just a place to start because I've been thinking about it too. And he's he's a part-time judge. So you were saying Mary said it's got to be somebody that knows the judges and if he's a part-time judge, he knows the other judges and the prosecutors.
Right. Well, I want her to look into him and see how good he is, and we'll see how proactive he is.
And the last thing I want to say is too is like we also should determine, if it really looks like it's like 100% that she has no intentions of ever coming back to Virginia for any reason whatsoever, what's the point of going into debt or hiring an attorney? I can, get out of this eventually just by her not coming to court. Because I know for a fact. Well,
that's a big gamble. That's a big gamble if they're moving forward without her, though.
You said what?
That's a big gamble to take, assuming, because it sounds like they're moving forward without her anyways. And according to Mary, because it's a Commonwealth, they don't even need her anymore. They're just moving forward with these charges regardless, based off the evidence they've already gathered. They don't need, it would benefit them even more. But if she's not cooperating and she's not there now, why are they doing everything?
I don't believe that's correct. The way I understand it is the complaining statement is not testimony. The complaining statement can corroborate the testimony. It can be used as evidence to corroborate a testimony. But you have the right to face your accuser in court. You have the right to cross-examine your accuser in court. Without that, it would be dismissed. Now, they could always non-process it again, I suppose, and then re-indict me a third time. That is a possibility. But it's almost as if they're just buying time to get her here, because even the prosecution said, we're having logistic issues getting her here, and said that they're going to just indict so that they can just focus on getting her out here one time, instead of coming to preliminary, then coming to trial,
That's what I feel like they're doing. They're buying time. That's what I feel like they're doing.
I really don't believe that's correct, that they're moving forward because they don't need her. That's not, I really don't think that's correct.
I don't either.
Yeah, I think they're buying time. I do.
And I can't find one case on there. I can't find one rape case where they sent a guy up without testimony.
I think Mary.
And in the one case I did find, it was a child who testified at prelim, and she was like too stressed out to testify at trial, so they just used her preliminary transcript at the trial. Yeah. But that was a very rare case where it involved a child that had already testified at the prelim.
Well, she's definitely prolonging this to get money. I think Mary even said that even after court, if you're prosecuted, she can still continue to get money for life. So,
well, but didn't Mary say they don't even need a conviction?
I don't remember.
I thought somebody told me that it's like they don't need a conviction or cooperation necessarily.
They didn't need a cooperation. She doesn't have to cooperate with the courts for her to get paid, but she needs the case to go on for her. If it just gets dismissed, or she needs the case to go on. If it gets stopped or dismissed, she doesn't get paid. But if you get convicted And she doesn't have to cooperate, but if you get convicted, she still gets paid.
But for me
If
to get
it's
convicted, she has to cooperate.
right, if it's no, she doesn't have to cooperate, but if it's like pending, if it's still ongoing, it's still active, she can get paid.
Meeting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll just go from there. I got the 1 minute mark.
All right, why don't we do a phone call day after tomorrow after we talk to Mary and gather everything and keep DMing you. Okay. It'll all.
Okay. Yeah. So look into that attorney. Try to get more information about that victims fund, and try to get more information about what the prosecution needs as far as and just keep tabs on what she's saying, what she's talking about too.
All right. All right.
Hey, Kale.
Attorney's thing.
Yeah.
Kale, do you want to tell them real quick about the messages and how to make it more economical?
It's better for you to like write as much as you can in one because they're 25 cents plus tax each one, and you've been doing in like pieces. Did you know that? Are they telling you that?
GTL.
All right. Well, he got it.
Well, we can explain it to him. God, this sounds like a complete.
Damn.
This sounds like a nightmare.
It's a mess.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to look into like, I don't know if you guys remember the Kyle Rittenhouse case, that first like self-serving attorney dude that like kept him sitting in there for a year and wouldn't like let him do any.
Yes.
And then he ended up getting that different attorney that's kind of like not just a criminal, but like a civil rights. I'm sure that he's a part of some greater network of attorneys. And we got to see, though, they have to have a license to practice law in the state of Virginia. Like that is going to be another route that he's going to have to take, is if he can get a group like that, like a criminal justice reform
like a pro bono
attorney
type. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, and the thing is that Charles, even though it's like really kind of D-list level YouTube, he does have some celebrity. There is some public interest. It's not just, it's sad for like everyday NPC kind of invisible people that are sitting in jail. But I think because of Charles's somewhat notoriety, like it would make it a little bit more interesting and out of the norm type of personality, because that's a lot of times with those attorneys that do pro bono, they still get the capital because of the fact that it's a public interest and it gets eyes on it, or there's a celebrity angle, or it's like some cutting edge civil rights law.
Right.
And so, I mean, I know that that's kind of far fetched too, but honestly, if his dad can't afford to mount some kind of defense for him, especially if he knows that he's innocent and he knows that Marissa's just doing this out of spite, basically. I mean, he's gonna sit every 6 months of his life is gonna go by in limbo, and we're just gonna sit around like just trying to keep his morale up. But I don't want to give him false hope. I don't have any satisfaction in that. I mean, in fact, I feel kind of depressed now. Because the fact that he can't even speak with his attorneys that he does have,
that's shitty.
Yeah, like let alone somebody that he may not even be able to get. But I figure it's better than just talking. Like I guess I'm gonna try to see if there is some attorney there in Virginia. I mean, maybe Mary knows about it. But
I thought about contacting that wrongful accused group, like, so it kind of goes with what you were saying. But they usually deal with people that are already convicted, and then they take on their cases. You know, and they have a group of like law students and stuff that work on it. But I thought about contacting them and just seeing if they would take a case like before it even goes to trial.
Or maybe even make the case that like why wait till someone's already wrongfully convicted?
Yes.
If we have somebody that's
practice for the students.
If they're wrongfully accused or wrongfully neglected,
you
know.
Julie, you're talking in your shirt.
Oh, sorry. Is this better?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
I
my
wondered
ears
what was
are
So
going
up.
on.
much
I didn't.
better.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything because I'm like, what the hell?
I
On
was
my end.
I was straining hard.
It was tough.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I couldn't tell. It was just the
I
mic.
know.
No, you're good. It's just,
It's
it's
fine.
funny. But yeah, so it's kind of funny that you bring that up because I did think about that last night. I thought, I'm gonna just write them, kind of give them some details and see what they say. You never know. I mean, it can't hurt anything. So
Well, it is. I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
yeah, it's pretty depressing, isn't it?
Yes, we
Um,
have a very
I think
sad
going
time.
the route of finding some sort of rights lawyer, because I do think he has had some rights overstepped. I don't know which exact ones or what, but it seems inappropriate that he doesn't know what's like things shouldn't be a surprise. He's supposed to
Right.
have a lawyer there, and it's like he has minus a lawyer.
Yeah, they just
So
threw him in
Yeah.
the cage and left him.
It's like you have a right to an attorney in name only, but you're not really getting legal counsel. You're not really getting a defense mounted. If they're not even asking him like his version of events, or does he have evidence that can clear him or exonerate him, like it sounds like none of that.
Exactly.
Like I'm really puzzled. Like, wow, that is just horrifying.
And how many more are like him sitting there going through the same thing? That's
Oh,
so
the vast
shitty.
majority.
So sad. So scary.
He doesn't
Very.
even know. He doesn't even have his packet of evidence. Like, what am I being accused of? What's the
That's
evidence?
the main thing that he should have from the gate.
I agree.
It's just utter insanity. And to hear him say, it's going to be a long time before I get out. It's
Yeah,
going to
he
be
needs to know what
years.
he's facing. He needs to be prepared. He doesn't even know.
So
How
they're
does
just
Marissa live with herself?
Right? Makes me hate her
there,
even more, and I try not to hate, but she's
Despicable.
yeah.
there's some corruption there in Virginia Beach. They have an ex-prosecutor who pled guilty to like stealing funds from crime victims.
Wow.
It was just this year they've been reporting about it. Um, there was also a police officer too who was involved in another thing. So they've got a lot going on there.
I mean, they go to sex parties, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. But yeah, stole thousands from the crime victim fund to cover gambling debts. That's what it
Damn.
was.
well, I gotta go feed my dogs because my little girl is whining. So, do you guys want to
Well,
continue?
go feed the
I'll just make it.
you go. I mean, yeah, I need to go myself also, but you go feed your babies. It was good talking to everybody,
Yeah,
and
thank you, Olga and Kale.
Yeah, thanks,
yeah,
Yeah,
guys.
And
thank you
same.
for
Nui
letting
and
us
Heather.
be able. Thank you for letting us to be able to listen and figure
Yeah.
out how we can help. So
Yeah.
Until the next
Have
one.
a good evening, everyone.
Yes.
you
Have
all
a
do
good evening.
too. Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah. Talk
Yep.
to you later.
All right. Bye
Bye.
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 Bye.